Hello! Today I really wanted to show what I've brought to the league and what I've been constantly trying to refine over the past few weeks with Ajani Sleeper Agent. So, one of the most important things with Ajani is we're going to have to try and ultimate as fast as we can. And to that end, we run pretty much any card that says proliferate and is anyway playable. There are some cards that are 5 or more converted mana cost that we just can't run. It's way too slow. We really want to be playing Ajani on as soon as we get 4 mana. And yeah, just being too expensive means we can't run them. To that end, we have Grateful Apparition, which unfortunately is not on cast. We do have to hit, but this is still going to be a powerful card, considering it still proliferates for those loyalty counters, but also the +1/+1 counters that we do have synergies later we'll see in this deck. Pollen Bright Druid is and enters the battlefield for proliferate, and all of these other ones will do the same thing. Land, even Bloomhulk is the furthest away from easily cast that I am deciding to run in this list, but it's still valuable enough that I think it definitely deserves a spot here. Ajani also sort of has this, like, it doesn't say proliferate, but that's what its -2 does, and it just makes this card extremely powerful, as well as putting +1/+1 counters across all your creatures. Extremely useful. And then Vorinclex, because any Planeswalker deck, Vorinclex, like, come on, it works perfectly. Then, what I was finding when I was making Ajani in early versions was that if Ajani kept getting removed or bounced or dealt with over and over again, and that was my only win condition, it was very hard to win games. And to that end, I have a whole bunch of Super Friends, because who doesn't like Super Friends? Basri Ket, if you get to -6, it doesn't win games, but it's extremely powerful. If you get to that -6, it's got massive staying power for your board, just a constant threat. Some useful ones, if you make 5 angels, 3/3 angels, that's going to be seriously powerful as well. This one, you'll note, is not a Planeswalker, but this is what I'm going to call, like, my other payoff to this deck, is we want to be casting creatures with the Ajani Ultimate, so if we cast God Eternal or Ketra, we're still getting a very powerful effect on that cast, so this is also just one way that this deck can really pull ahead. And there's some other ones there as well. Next up, we're looking at Ramp. If we can get Ajani out on turn 3, then it's just really, really hard for your opponents to attack into and knock down when you're trying to get a really quick ultimate. And to that end, we're running a whole suite of just your standard sort of mana rampers that you can get access to. Next up, we really want some card draw, because every deck wants card draw, but also we want to be cycling through as many creatures as we can. And so this, a lot of these cards are going to be like Mentor of the Meek effects, Welcoming Vampire, especially Guardian Project and Beast Whisperer, just casting creatures, drawing more cards, casting more creatures. When we hit that ultimate, and even if we haven't hit that ultimate, it helps towards clogging up the board, because if we draw as many creatures as we can put them on the field, and then we can play and cast Ajani and uptick the loyalty without it being attacked into if we can block. We have a smaller suite of protection spells here, and then we also have the sort of standard removal. Of course, it's mostly going to be white. As green, fight spells we weren't as interested in, although we do have one over here. Elspeth Conquers Death, just a very, very powerful card, especially in this deck. If we're getting back even, we can let Ajani die. If they manage to attack into it and bring it back on 5 loyalty already, then again, 1 proliferation trigger, and we're ultimating. So Yeah, very powerful. Um, Last of all, we have Dusk to Dawn, which is often going to be a one-sided board wipe, which is just very strong, especially at 4 mana. And then 5 mana, just if the game's prolonged a bit, it also acts as that sort of draw spell, that way to recur your creatures back and cast them all out again. Last of all, we have 41 lands. It's very important for this type of strategy that we're hitting the land drops on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, and even turn 5. Because we want to be playing these powerful spells like Ajani, we want to be playing our Planeswalkers out as soon as we can. If we are delayed, we give more of a window for our opponents to react, and that's just not ideal. So part of that consistency is running that high land count, and also, who can forget, you also have the additional proliferation from Khan's Bastion, which we are running as well.